If you're suffering from a bit of creative block on what else to do with custom commands, watch this video here if this is the first time you've heard of this. Here's a couple of ideas and use cases to help spark that noggin of yours back to life. Most of these examples will be taken from a blog post of the same topic, so if you want to read in further detail, go check that out. Now, let's start things off with custom commands, you can make sure Surge includes specific words, points, or information you desire. Like, for example, including your brand name, as well as excluding your competitor's name, but we'll get to that in a second. A call to action to guide users on what you want them to do next. A personal anecdote for a more human touch. Or perhaps a shocking statistic to captivate your readers. On the flip side of that, you have like yin and yang, Surge giveth and Surge taketh, which is just a fancy way of saying you can create a command that prevents Surge from using certain words, names, phrases, and even topics. Here's an example command that tells Surge to avoid using AI words. This prevents your writing from coming off as stiff or robotic, as well as slipping the prying eye of AI detectors. Yes, Surge already lets you set a specific tone for your output, but it applies to the entirety of the article. As you should probably already know, if you've watched our video, custom commands is applied separately to each segment, meaning you can switch up the tone of your article whichever way you desire. Not only that, you can specify custom tones that aren't provided by Surge. For example, infuse positivity by maintaining uplifting and optimistic tone. But if we expand further on this point, you'll get probably the most obvious example that first comes to mind when talking about style of writing is emulating a specific person's writing style, such as David Ogilvy, Zadie Smith, Stephen King, or perhaps even Shakespeare. But apart from mimicking writers, you can adjust the readability of your output to better suit the comprehension level of your audience. For a more layman's demographic, you can do something like this. If your readers are already experts in whatever topic you're writing about, you can use this. But what's the point of style if your readers can't make heads or tails of your article? That's why you can also use custom commands to change them. If you have a specific sequence or flow of information you want a segment to follow, you can apply a command that looks something like this. Now combine that with all the other previously mentioned examples and wabam! You have yourself a standardized template that lets you maintain a level of consistency across all your works. Now, don't take these 5 examples as word of gospel for how to use custom commands. Get creative. Try and come up with something that even we didn't think about. And don't forget to share those ideas in the comments below.